Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Life Full of Zest. I love being on the mat and spending time enjoying something that we all love together, which is Pilates and exercise. Today is day 3 of our full body Pilates virtual workout series, and I'm just really starting to get into a really cool routine of just knowing that every Thursday at 6 p.m. I'm going to be on the mat here with you. So thank you so much for joining me. And today we are going to be focusing on our glutes and our core. So it is still a full body Pilates workout. However, our main focus is going to be getting into those deep activations within those glutes as well as that core. Today we are going to be starting at the back of our mat in a rest position. So when you're ready, you can make your way there. We're going to lengthen that spine and just sitting on our heels and our feet. We're just going to close those eyes. Then just take a deep inhale and exhale. Just bringing ourselves to this present moment and just really taking that intentional time to bring our minds to these next 40 minutes of exercise. Taking another deep inhale. Exhale, lifting those arms up towards the sky. And just lifting that chest open towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, slowly drawing that chest down towards the mat. We're just going to stay here in this rest position for a few breaths. And try and draw your hands away from that body as you try and imagine like your body's being pulled in the opposite direction of your hands. Now you're drawing your shoulders into the mat. Taking another deep inhale, we're going to walk our hands over towards that left hand side of the mat. And then we're just opening that right side body as you draw that right shoulder down towards the mat. Then coming back to center and then changing over all the way to the right hand side of the mat and drawing that left shoulder into the ground as you push those left ribs towards the wall. Deep inhale. Now slowly coming back to center. We're going to roll our spine up towards the sky into an all fours position, vertebra by vertebra. Now tucking in those toes and lifting yourself into your downward dog. You're just going to pedal those feet out, allowing that blood flow to come to those hamstrings. Deep breath. Slowly rolling yourself forward, vertebra by vertebra into front support position. And then leading with that tailbone, you're going to roll back into downward dog. Lifting that spine as you come back into front support. And then leaning back into downward dog. Just imagining like we're moving in a wave-like motion as you move that vertebra and that spine. Head through those arms. Now pushing forward, coming back. Let's do that one more time. Leaning back. And you're just going to hold here. And just push those heels into the ground. Slowly starting to feel that heart rate increase as our body begins to move and warm up. Let's pedal out those legs one more time. And then slowly bending those knees and then coming back into rest position. We're going to lift those glutes up towards the sky, and I want you to extend your arms as much as you can onto the mat, and then you're going to bring your hands into a prayer position behind that head, and you're just going to lean down, bring that chest down towards the mat, so you're emphasizing a stretch into those shoulders. Just holding here for me. Deep breaths. Then you're going to come all the way back into rest position. Your chest is resting on your knees, interlacing your hands behind your head. You're going to open that right elbow towards the sky on that exhale. Inhale to center, and then left elbow towards the sky. And we're going to do that a few more times. So I want you to just make sure that your elbows are open and your shoulders are going away from those ears. You're really rotating from the level of that waist. One more on each side. Very nice. Keep working. Coming back to center and extending those arms, lifting yourself back up into that downward dog, and then rolling yourself forward into that front support position. And from here, we're going to go into a fury hold. So we're going to come into an all fours. We're holding here, sucking belly to spine. And in this position, I want you to draw that belly in. That chin is in neutral and you're almost pushing yourself away from the floor. Keep holding deep breaths in through the nose, lowering that diaphragm as you breathe in. Then exhale. Okay, from here we're going to extend right leg, extend left leg, bend right leg, bend left leg. And we're going to do 5 on each leg. That's 2. Slow, controlled movements to emphasize the quality of the activation. And 4. And 5. Keep working. Now we're going to lead with the left side. Left in, left out. Left in, left out. Keep going. We've got 2 more after this. And that's 1 and 2. Coming back, extending those shoulders, core nice and tight. If you struggle in this front support position, you can bend your knees and just come into a modified position. We're going to take an inhale, exhale, chest tap, then left chest, then right. That's 2. And when you're doing this one, I want you to just make sure that you're drawing that belly to spine and you're not transferring your weight too much. It's really a light movement. It's just dropping from left to right. And last few. Let's go for another 5. Keep going. 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back into that fury hold. And we're going to do that again with those chest touches. And 1. And 2. Keep going. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep going. 8. Stick with me. 9 and 10. And now coming back into that front support, leaning back into downward facing dog, rolling forward, and then doing a little chaturanga into upward facing dog. From here, I want you to look over that right shoulder as you lean into that left hip. Inhale, center, and then look over that left shoulder as you lean into that right hip. And keep going. And over the right and over the left. Coming back up, looking up towards the sky, and then coming back into that downward dog position. Deep breath in. Exhale, lifting that right leg up to 3-legged downward dog. And then tucking it in, bringing it next to that left hand. And in this position, I want you to slowly be dropping that back knee. And you're just pushing that right knee away from you. And then you're just going to come down into towards the mat. We're just going to hold here, allowing that hip to open up. What we're doing now is just focusing on loosening up those hips so that when we do get into those core and glute activations, we are loose, we are mobile, and we are really getting deep into that quality activation because we have loosened up those hips. Very nice. And placing those hands on that mat, tucking that left foot in as you lift it. Right leg back up into three-legged downward dog. And slowly dropping it down. And deep breath in. Lifting that left leg into three-legged downward dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, placing that left foot next to that left hand. Dropping that knee. Drawing that left knee away from the body as you just lean down onto the mat. Just using this time to lean into that stretch. Allow that hip to open up. And if you do feel stretch in a certain position, if you want to lean that knee in a little bit more, if you want to lean more into your left hip, just work around, see what benefits you, what helps, where you feel that quality stretch. And keep holding. Deep breath in. And placing those hands back on that mat and lifting that left leg back up and slowly coming back into downward dog. We're slowly going to bring those knees back into a fury hold. And we've got a series of exercises in this position. So be prepared. Just stick with me. The first exercise is just pulling those knees away from each other, then back to center. And again, if you want more of a challenge in this position, you can put a TheraBand around those knees. So squeezing those glutes. So the key here is to keep that pelvis where it is. You're activating those glutes to squeeze your knees away from each other and sucking belly to spine. That's 3 and 4. Keep going. And 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Coming back into that fury hold, bringing those hands a little bit away from you. You're going to lean back into a crouch position, then come back to just over those hands and back into crouch. That's 2. Keeping that core tight, keeping that control. 3 and 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And last little exercise, we're going to move over to placing our toes on the mat. So we're still in that fury hold position. Our toes are just in a different position. If you manage with this, go ahead. If you struggle, just stay with your toes tucked in. Or you can get a pillow, but now we're leaning backwards and forwards. And you'll see that my knees are still hovering off the mat. So we're leaning back and forward. And that's 4, we're halfway. And 5 and 6, 2 more. Keep working. 7 and 8. Coming back, dropping those knees and leaning down into rest position. Wow. I don't know about you, but I felt quite a burn into those quads as well as into that core. We're just going to take this time to have a little recovery. We're going to lift ourselves up, lifting that left knee forward, and then leaning into that, bringing that right knee forward, then leaning into that right knee. And if you can, you're just going to grab that back left foot with that right hand as you lift that left arm up towards the sky. We're just going to take this opportunity to stretch out that quad after we have shortened it by activating it. And keep breathing. Deep breaths. Remember that oxygen really just helps with that blood flow. So give your muscles what they want and what they need. So keep breathing. And deep breath in, lifting both arms up towards the sky. opening that chest, placing both hands on the mat, dropping that right knee back to bring that left knee up, leaning forward, grabbing that back foot with that left hand as you lift that right arm up, and leaning into that hip. Try keep those hips aligned, tucking in that pubic bone, and you don't have to go too far as long as you're feeling a nice stretch down that front of that quad or into here. If you aren't feeling a stretch, you can flex that ankle and draw that heel closer towards that glute. Keep holding. And taking a release of that back foot, lifting both hands up, stretching out chest to sky as you place both hands on the mat. Now you're going to keep your left foot where it is, and you're actually going to bring that right foot next to that other hand, and we're just going to sit in a deep squat position just for a few breaths. So draw your hands into prayer, and then draw those knees away from each other, lengthening through that spine. That tailbone is pointing the floor, that crown of the head is pointing the sky. Deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to place our hands on the mat and come into a forward fold. Inhale. Exhale, coming back into that squat. And placing hands on the mat into a wide forward fold. Remember, we're not bending at the level of the back. We're bending at the level of the knees. So if you can't extend those knees too much, you can just keep a slight bend in them. When we come down into that squat, those toes point out towards the opposite corners. And as we lift up, we're pointing those toes forward. And last one, we're going to come back into that forward fold. Just drawing down, allowing that head to fall towards the mat. Just enjoy and embrace the stretch. Deep breath in. Exhale, coming back into that deep squat. We're going to lift right arm up towards the sky, left arm up towards the sky, and then just leaning back and just coming down into a seated position. We're going to brace our elbows onto the mat, sucking belly to spine. We're going to bring both legs into tabletop, and we're just going to start by cycling those legs. And again, mobility into those hips, activation into that core, and you're not slouching or slumping into those shoulders. Keeping that core tight. And let's keep going for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to reverse now. We're just changing direction. So if you're going forward with that cycle motion, you're now going to go backwards. Keep going. Keeping that core tight. Coming back up to center and lifting yourself up into boat posture. Palms facing the sky. Balancing, we're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, extend, and back up. That's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's do 5 more. That's 1 and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. And slowly coming back into a seated position. We're just going to open that chest. Allow this recovery. Now slowly hovering those feet off the mat. We're going to go into rolling like a ball. So inhale to prepare, rounding that spine, keeping that neck in neutral, but just tucking in that chin. And exhale, roll up. Inhale, come back to seated. Stabilizing with those tummy muscles. And we got 3 more. And 1. Keep going. and 2, and 3, and holding here, going back into that boat posture. And from here, we want to stabilize with our core. We're just going to lift arms up towards the sky, to T-point, back to center, back to starting point, into tap. Arms to sky, arms to T-point, arms to sky, arms to starting point, into toe tap. And even though they're small movements, you want to keep that posture that back straight, and you want to maintain that posture. You should be getting a deep activation into that TA muscle. And let's do 3 more. That's 1. T-point, center, starting point, and 2. And up, T-point, center, starting point. And last one. And last little push, interlacing hands behind our head. Deep breath in. We're just going to toe tap, left foot as we rotate, left elbow, and changing over. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and slowly dropping those feet and coming all the way down onto the mat. You're going to open those knees as you place the palms of the feet in contact with one another. Bringing arms overhead. We're just going to rest into this posture just for a few breaths. Deep breath in and exhale, and inhale and exhale. We're going to bring those knees back to center and turning over onto our right hand side. We're going to place that left foot over that right foot, and that right hand is on the mat and our fingers are facing away from each other. Hips, shoulders, and knees are in a line with those ankles. Knees are bent, ankles, hips, and shoulders are all in a line. We're going to inhale to prepare, and on that exhale, we're going to lift our hips off the mat, and you're going to look overhead, and then inhale, lower to hover. And deep breath in, exhale, looking towards the direction that your fingers are pointing, coming back down. Lowering to hover, so you're feeling that activation all the way down that side body, and then that stretch all the way down that other side. Lower to hover. And keep going. We've got 1 more of these. We're just going to hold for a few seconds. Up and hold. Core tight, sucking belly in. Shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, belly to spine. And we're holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back down. We're going to bend that bottom knee. So we're still in that position. Only difference is that bottom knee is bent. Hips are in line with those knees and shoulders. We're going to lift that left leg up towards the sky. Deep breath in. We're going to toe tap into crunch. That's 1. And 2. And 3. 4. Keeping that core tight. 5. We're doing 8 of these. 6. 7. And 8. Stay with me. Extending that arm up. Little pulsations for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last little push, little pulsations with that hip. That's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly coming back down and turning over to do that same thing on the other side. Very nice. Let's keep up the good work. Feeling it all the way down the side of my body and into those glutes. We're going to place that right foot over that left foot, ankles, hips, and shoulders all in line. Left fingers are away from the body, taking a deep inhale. Exhale, lifting arms up overhead. Inhale, lower to hover. And looking up and over. And lowering to hover. Keep going. That's 3. Sucking belly in. If you do feel like you need to rest when we lower, that's okay. And we're nearly there. 2 more. Keep working. And last one, and we're going to hold. Lifting those hips, stacking those shoulders, stacking those hips for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And dropping down, bending that bottom knee. Knees, hips, and shoulders all in line. Lifting those hips. Deep breath in, extending that upper leg. Arm overhead. Toe tap into crunch. That's 1 and 2. Keep going. And you want to feel that crunch in that upper side body. Keep going. And last one. And now bring your arm to T-point. Pulsations for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Into those hip drops. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And slowly coming all the way down, back into all fours. We're going to lift ourselves into downward dog. Lifting that left leg up towards the sky, tucking it in and placing it between those arms, and we're coming into our seated pigeon. If you want, you can either bring those ankles in line with that knee to intensify the stretch. If you do struggle to stay seated, you can either put a block under your left hip, or you can tuck in that foot towards your glute, just so that you can get into a comfortable position, as long as you're getting a stretch into that right glute. If you can, we're just going to drop down and we're going to hold in this position, leaning into that glutes area, taking this time to allow that heart rate to decrease slightly. I certainly am feeling quite a heart rate increase after that glute session. And let's lift that chest up towards the sky. Lifting those arms up towards the sky, taking a deep inhale. Exhale, tucking in those back toes as you lift that right foot up to 3-legged downward dog. And either coming into knees, chest, floor, or coming straight into chaturanga. Looking up towards the sky, coming back into downward dog, lifting left leg up towards the sky into 3-legged downward dog, tucking it in, and then placing it on the floor in front of you as you come into seated pigeon. Really nice. Keep up the good work. Remember those modifications. You can either tuck in that foot a little bit more, or you can get a block under that other hip. And let's slowly come down if you can. We're going to hold here. Leaning into that left glute. Keep holding. Deep breath in. And chest to sky. Lifting those arms up on that inhale. Exhale, placing your hands on that mat, tucking those back toes in. Lifting that left leg up into 3-legged downward dog. You can either do knees, chest, floor, go straight into chaturanga, lifting that chest up towards the sky. Then coming back into downward dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, jumping those feet between those hands. Coming into seated and coming all the way straight down onto the mat. In the supine position, you're going to lift your hips up towards the sky into a pelvic curl. Just remember your feet are 1.5 feet away from your glutes and a fist distance apart. Arms up towards the sky. Deep breath in. Exhale, rolling down one vertebra at a time towards that mat. Inhale, exhale up. I'm going to do one more of these before we progress the movement. And lifting back up. Inhale, exhale, right knee to tabletop. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, toe tap. Back up into hip drop. And toe tap as you lower those arms. Hip drop. That's 3. We're doing 8 of these, so keep going. Remember to breathe. Inhale, center. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, center. Keep going. And we've got 3 more leading through that hill. And 2. And 3. Extending those legs. Deep breath in. And we're just going to hold aligning those knees for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping right leg down. Deep breath in. Exhale, left leg up. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, toe tap as you lower those legs. Come back to center into hip drop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last 1, 8. Extending that knee, leading through that heel, looking up towards the sky for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to tabletop. Deep breath in, lifting those hips to slowly roll them back down. Bringing arms into T-point. And we're just going to rock those knees from left to right. Very nice. Bringing those feet slightly larger than shoulder width apart. I'm going to do that same thing. Just dropping those knees from left to right, just emphasizing that stretch. Very nice. Almost at the end. We're building towards our final sequence. This is our second last sequence. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, lifting hips off the mat. So we're rotating from that level of that vertebra, of that pelvis, lifting that vertebra one level at a time, core nice and tight. Sucking in, belly to spine, arms to the sky. Deep breath in. And we're just going to draw those knees away from each other. Back to center. Extra little pulsation. That's 1. Knees away. Squeeze for pulsation. 2. And 3. And squeeze. And 4. And 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. And hold here. And we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly coming back down. Lifting head, neck, and chest off the mat as you lift both legs up into tabletop. Deep breath in. And we're going to lift left elbow to right knee. Inhale to center. Then right elbow to left knee. That's 2. That's 3, 4. Keep working. Try not to brace that tummy. Belly to spine. And you're just rotating almost more of a rib to opposite hip as opposed to elbow to knee. Keep going. Now from here, we're going to rotate that left knee towards that left elbow towards that left knee, and we're going to extend that left leg and back up. That's 1 and 2 and 3, 4. We're doing 8 of these. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Changing over, bending left knee and right. 1 and 2. Remember, flexing and pointing that toe as we go. We've done this exercise before together. And 5, 6, 7, and 8. Coming back up, coming back into our double leg stretches for that last push. If you need to rest, you can just bend those knees, hug it knee to chest, look left and right. And coming back, deep breath in, exhale, extend, inhale, center. That's 1. Keep going. 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6. Keep going. When you extend, try not to brace that neck or that tummy. You want a beautiful quality activation. And we're going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hugging knee to chest. Looking right and left. And then just do an extra squeeze. Very nice. We're going to extend that left leg up. We're going to extend that right leg up towards the sky. And we're going to interlace our hands comfortably behind the back of that knee, pointing those toes towards the sky. And use this time to just allow that heart rate to decrease. How we're going to point those toes to nose. It's going to be intensifying that stretch behind the back of that knee. Keep holding. And bending that right leg, lifting left leg up, pointing those toes towards the sky as you draw that knee to chest. Keep holding. Deep breath in. Exhale, toes to nose. Keep holding. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And extending both legs onto the mat, lifting arms overhead. Deep breath in. Exhale, lifting yourself all the way up into seated. And we're going to come into a seated position, placing that left foot over that right knee, tucking that left foot towards those glutes, and you're just going to look over that right shoulder as you draw and hug that left knee to chest. Keep holding. Nice deep inhales. Really just become aware of that heart slowly coming down back to normal heart rate. Coming back to center, just changing over. Looking over that left shoulder as you draw that left knee towards that chest. And slowly coming back to center, lifting your arms up towards the sky, taking a deep inhale. And exhale as you bring your arms back down into seated. Thanks yet again for rolling around on the mat with me today. I'm so glad that even though you don't live in Durban, you can still join us, even though it may be virtually. For those of you that do live in Durban, please feel free to book a class at our new Sunshine Club studio. All first timers are free, so please feel free to come along. I have left a link in the description below. And again, let me know if you have any comments on that session, or if you want me to focus on anything during our class next week. I will see you next week, same time. Lots of love, everybody.